Okay, and those factors are just I'm recapitulating. Those factors are sources of equipment, price fluctuations, company policies as well as government policies, and operating time and rate of production. So these are five factors that will affect the investment and production cost, right? Now, after that, I would like to discuss something that is very important. Now, these capital cost, since cost will depend on sources of equipment, price fluctuation, company policies, operating time and rate of production, government policies. Now, these five, so you can write that fact investment and production cost and production cost as a function of f of what sources of equipment SOE, price fluctuation PF, company policies CP, government policies GP, operating time and rate of production ROP. Similarly, these symbols are very important. Sometimes I will represent rate of return as ROI. This investment and production cost will be the function of sources of equipment, price fluctuations, company policies, government policies, and operating time and rate of production. I have explained in detail in the last lecture all these factors. So I am now moving to another important part. Here I will summarize capital investment. So as far as capital investment is concerned, first you need to understand what do you mean by capital. Capital, traditional meaning of the capital is a stock of accumulated wealth. A stock of accumulated wealth is capital. And in applied sense, you will find this is, saving. Saving may be used as the I see this is in applied sense. This capital is nothing but the saving, and that saving may be used as the honor decides. And one use of the saving is investment. That's why the word is capital investment. Means whatever saving you have, means capital you have, you can invest it. Okay, just try to understand every word very clearly, and if you have any problem, ask me immediately, right? Now this, so one use of the saving is investment, means that is to use the savings to promote the production of other goods instead of being available solely for the purpose of immediate enjoyment with the view of obtaining income or profit. Now, once you understand the capital and capital investment, then what are the different types of capital investment that you need to understand? Now, to explain this definition and types of capital investment, let me tell you one more thing, that before an industrial plant can be put into operation, a large sum of money must be available to purchase and install the required machinery and equipment. Okay, land must be obtained, service facilities must be available, and the plant must be erected complete with all piping controls and services. So these means this is a fixed capital investment, right? And in addition to this, funds are also required with which to pay the expenses involved in the plant operation. So here the key word is plant operation before sales revenue becomes available. So this is number two. This become operating cost, and this become fixed cost, right? Fixed cost and operating costs are also called variable cost. Now, as far as fixed capital investment is concerned, so fixed capital investment is nothing but capital needed to supply the required manufacturing and plant facilities. Now just try to understand plant facilities. Now for manufacturing, the capital needed to supply the required manufacturing facilities will be the manufacturing fixed capital investment. It is also called the direct cost because this is directly related to the manufacturing of something. So this is direct cost also. And plant facilities means non-manufacturing fixed capital investment. This is also called indirect cost. Indirect cost. So don't confuse if you see direct cost, indirect cost, manufacturing fixed capital, non-manufacturing fixed capital. I am telling you that fixed capital investment can be divided into two parts: manufacturing fixed capital investment, non-manufacturing fixed capital investment. Another name for these are, for manufacturing fixed capital, you will call it direct cost. Direct cost. Reason because that is directly involved in manufacturing. And non-manufacturing fixed capital cost, also called indirect cost, because these are not directly involved in manufacturing, but this is acts just like plant facilities. Okay, so this is indirect cost. Now in a little greater detail of manufacturing fixed capital cost, if you want to understand, so this is the capital necessary for the installed process equipment with all components that are needed for complete process operation. Expenses for site preparation, piping, instrumentation, insulation. I will tell you later that insulation cost how much. जैसे हमने इस कास्ट में अगर इक्विपमेंट खरीदा है तो उसका कितना परसेंटेज लगभग किस रेंज में, बिकॉज देयर कुड नॉट बी सर्टेन फिक्स परसेंटेज, there would be range, some fixed range of insulation cost. You will find, I will tell you what percentage of those, and those has been collected from literature, research paper, research paper emerging from research paper, patents emerging from different uh, industries in India and abroad. So insulation, piping, instrumentation, foundations and auxiliary facilities are typical example of cost included in the manufacturing fixed capital investment. Now, as far as non-manufacturing fixed capital investment is concerned, just remember that non-manufacturing fixed capital will be plant facilities. The indirect cost. Indirect means directly नहीं लगेगा. Directly manufacturing में participate नहीं करेंगे वो cost. So capital required for construction overhead. We call it overhead also because this is directly not related to manufacturing. So construction overhead, and for all plant components that are not directly related to the process operation. See, the key word is indirect cost. Non-manufacturing, hit in the mind, indirect cost. Now, indirect with respect to what? Just you need to raise the question. Indirect with respect to manufacturing. If it is not directly related to manufacturing, indirect cost, right? So indirect cost, so in this way, can you think of land? Plant components include land, processing, building. Building कोई product नहीं produce करता, तो but processing, you need to have processing, building. Indirect effect है but direct नहीं है. Administration भी होना चाहिए, administrative and other offices, बट ये सब कैपिटल कास्ट है बिकॉज दिस इज द लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट है. एक बार आपने एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन सेटअप कर लिया, बिल्डिंग सेटअप कर ली, लैंड खरीद ली, तो आपको बार बार नहीं खरीदना है. वेयर हाउसेस, लेबोरेटरी. अब आप कहोगे कि एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में जो वर्क करते हैं लोग, तो वो हम आपको बताएंगे कि हमने यहाँ पे केवल एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एम्प्लॉयज़ की हमने बात नहीं की, यहाँ पे हमने एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एंड अदर ऑफिसेज की बात की है, मीन्स जो बिल्डिंग्स है, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ बिल्डिंग्स, इसीलिए हम डिवाइड करते हैं उसे, एक तो बेयर लैंड हो गया, और दूसरा जो हम प्रोसेसिंग बिल्डिंग बनाते हैं, और तीसरा एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एंड अदर ऑफिसेज की जो बिल्डिंग है, और वेयर हाउसेज वो भी बिल्डिंग एक बन गई, लेबोरेटरीज वो भी बिल्डिंग बन गई, उसमें काम करने वाले वर्कर की सैलरी जो हम वेजेस देते हैं, सैलरी देते हैं, वो तो बेटा डे टू डे सैलरी हम पे करते हैं, मंथली भी पे करते हो तो लॉन्ग टर्म के रेस्पेक्ट में वो शॉर्ट पीरियड ही कहा जाएगा। ओके, तो दीज आर द शॉर्ट टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट आल्सो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, हम आगे बताएंगे आपको कि ये जो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट में आएगा, because you know employees salary will depend on inflation and all other factors, so they will fluctuate. ओके, एम्प्लॉयज सैलरी बढ़ती रहती है, घटती रहती है, बिकॉज सम लेबर एम्प्लॉयमेंट, लेबर जो ग्रुप होते हैं वो भी डिसाइड करते हैं कि हमारी सैलरी कितनी होनी चाहिए, तो ये सब चीज़ें हैं। और तो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, शिपिंग एंड रिसीविंग फैसिलिटीज, यूटिलिटीज, वेस्ट डिस्पोजल फैसिलिटीज, शॉप्स, है ना, शिपिंग, ये सब अदर परमानेंट पार्ट ऑफ द प्लांट। यू नो कंस्ट्रक्शन ओवरहेड कास्ट में क्या क्या आएगा, कंस्ट्रक्शन ओवरहेड कास्ट में फील्ड ऑफिसेस, ओके, सुपरविजन एक्सपेंसेस, ओके, होम ऑफिस एक्सपेंसेस, इंजीनियरिंग एक्सपेंसेस, मिसलेनियस कंस्ट्रक्शन कास्ट, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स की जो फीस होती है, कंटिजेंसीज, okay, so in few books you will find construction overhead is given in you know in another head. So in the Peter Deemer house book they have considered construction overhead within the head of non-manufacturing fixed capital investment or indirect cost. Now as far as working capital is concerned, working capital means the capital necessary for operation of the plant, capital necessary for the operation of the plant. And now please make sure that capital necessary for the operation of plant, working capital, and before operation of the plant all the capital that is involved in the plant, you know, it will be the fixed capital investment, either manufacturing fixed capital or non-manufacturing fixed capital. Now as far as working capital is concerned, now the word working means operation means necessary for operation of the plant. So capital means money that you have saving, and working capital means whatever capital saving you have, you need to invest it. So some part of your saving will be invested in as working capital. Working capital means for operation of the plant. Now these now can you think of for operation of plant, what all are all the amount of money that will be invested in? So the working capital for an industrial plant consists of total amount of money invested in first. Now start with raw material. Okay, to start with raw material, you need day to day, you need for operation of the plant day to day raw material. Okay, and not only raw material, suppose आपका raw material दूर से आता है, so you have to keep the stock of raw material in advance so that your production get not disturbed. So raw material and supplies carried in stock. Okay, number one. Number two, finished product in stock and semi-finished products in process of being manufactured. And account receivable, कहीं से money आना है, that is account receivable, and cash kept on hand for monthly payment of operating expenses, जैसे salary हुआ, wages हुआ, और raw material purchases, and then account payable, and then taxes payable. These are the working capital, because you need money to pay the tax on a per year basis, per month basis, depending on the country, geographical location or industry is located. Account payable, all those things are in working capital. Now after understanding this, let us move to how to estimate these capital investment. So this estimation of capital investment you want to understand. Now most of the capital investment are based on the cost of the equipment required, okay, and the most significant error in capital investment estimation are generally due to the omission of equipment, services, auxiliary facilities rather than to gross error costing. अब हम फिक्स्ड कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट की हम अगर बात करें, वर्किंग लीव द वर्किंग कैपिटल असाइड बिकॉज वर्किंग कैपिटल इज डे टू डे रिक्वायरमेंट, बट द फिक्स्ड कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट आइटम्स जो हम कंसीडर करेंगे, सो हेयर आर द चेक लिस्ट, here are the checklist that you need to check. Okay, so fixed capital investment, I have divided it into two parts. One is manufacturing fixed capital investment and second is non-manufacturing fixed capital investment. Now this manufacturing fixed capital investment, you also call it direct cost. Okay, non-manufacturing fixed capital investment, also called indirect cost. Indirect cost. Now these are the. Now I will tell you something that is very important. So manufacturing fixed capital investment and non-manufacturing fixed direct indirect cost. So you will check what all the items you have considered in your cost estimation. So purchased equipment, all equipment listed, complete flow sheet. So you must have first flow sheet, and based on flow sheet you need to consider all the equipment mentioned in that flow sheet. Okay, so flow sheet is the prerequisite for the estimation of uh, cost, okay, direct cost and indirect cost. Now all equipment listed on complete flow sheet, spare parts, okay, and non-installed equipment, spares, surplus equipment, supplies, inflation cost allowance, freight charges, taxes, insurance duties, and allowance for modification during startup. So हर एक equipment के लिए आप ये देखोगे, फिर परचेज इक्विपमेंट इंस्टॉलेशन के लिए देखोगे, फिर इंस्ट्रूमेंटेशन एंड कंट्रोल के लिए देखोगे, परचेज इंस्टॉलेशन कैलिब्रेशन, कंप्यूटर कंट्रोल विद सपोर्टिव सॉफ्टवेयर, पाइपिंग में देखोगे, फिर इलेक्ट्रिकल सिस्टम, बिल्डिंग्स देखोगे, प्रोसेसिंग बिल्डिंग्स में कितने टाइप्स की बिल्डिंग्स आ जाएगी, प्रोसेसिंग बिल्डिंग्स, ऑक्सिलरी बिल्डिंग्स एंड मेंटेनेंस ऑफ एंड बिल्डिंग सर्विसेज. तो ये सब चीजें आपको चेक करनी है in the cost estimation. So these are the checklists as a yard improvements, site development, grading roads, site clearing, and walkways, railroads, fence, parking areas. These you need to check. Now service facilities. In service you will check utilities, steam, water, power, refrigeration, compressed air, fuel, waste disposal. Facilities, boiler plant, incinerator, wells, river intake, water treatment, cooling water, okay, cooling towers, water storage, electric substation, refrigeration plant, air plant, and non-process equipment, office furniture, equipment, cafeteria, okay, distribution and packaging, and land surveys, fee, property cost. So these are the things that you will take in direct cost. Indirect cost, engineering and supervision, okay, and legal expenses, construction expenses, contractor fee, and contingency. So these are the things that you need to check before cost estimation, that you have uh, involved all these cost or not. Now an estimate of the capital investment, I will tell you two things. One is the for many processes you will find that there are two extremes. One extreme is a pre-design estimate. Pre-design estimate. And second is detailed estimate. Detailed estimate. Now, as an estimator, you have to estimate first pre-design estimate. In the pre-design estimate, you will find different types. Pre-design estimate, order of magnitude. Order of magnitude. एस्टीमेट, इसे हम रेशियो एस्टीमेट भी बोलते हैं. दैट इज रिटन ओवर हियर, जस्ट यू लुक इनटू इट. ऑर्डर ऑफ मैग्नीट्यूड एस्टीमेट, रेशियो एस्टीमेट, इसमें एरर जो होती है वो प्लस माइनस 30% होती है. यहाँ पे प्लस माइनस 30%. So I will write here in short and you will look in this. Then survey steady estimate or factored estimate. Steady estimate or factor estimate. In this, you will find the error of almost equal plus minus 30%. Okay. And then third one is in pre-design estimate is preliminary estimate. Preliminary preliminary estimate. Okay, preliminary estimate. In preliminary estimate, you will find the error up to plus minus 20%. Okay, and of these are the pre-design estimate, and then you will find the detailed design estimate. In detailed design estimate, one is the definitive estimate. Detailed estimate is more accurate. So the one is definitive. Different names are there. Okay, definitive estimate and definitive estimate I have written over here. See, definitive estimate and detailed estimates. डिटेल्ड एस्टिमेट्स कौन देगा? कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स एस्टिमेट्स कौन डिटेल एस्टिमेट बना के देगा. सो डिटेल्ड एस्टिमेट that is based on detailed pricing. So detailed cost estimate. And now definitive estimate you will find the error plus minus 10%. And आप 10% डाउन हो जा रहा है. 30% इन दोनों का है. 30% error, and then you will find preliminary estimate 20% error, and then fourth definitive estimate 10%, and then detailed estimate you will find 5%. Now what you see that if I make a real line right here, sorry, right here a real line, then you will find that starting from, okay, let me make this figure right here. So in this line, there are different names for estimate. First is order of magnitude estimate. Error is plus minus 30%. Second is steady estimate. Steady estimate. ये होगा प्लस माइनस 30%. थर्ड इज प्रीलिमिनरी एस्टीमेट ई प्लस माइनस 20%. एंड नेक्स्ट इज डेफिनेटिव एस्टीमेट और डी. इसे हम प्रोजेक्ट कंट्रोल एस्टीमेट भी बोलते हैं बिकॉज दैट इज बेस्ड ऑन ऑलमोस्ट कंप्लीट डाटा बट बिफोर कंप्लीशन ऑफ ड्राइंग एंड स्पेसिफिकेशन. The probable accuracy of that estimate is plus minus 10%. All right. Then there will be a detailed definitive estimate and then detailed estimate. Detailed estimate. Detailed estimate में इसमें बहुत कम होती है. Probable accuracy of estimate within 5 plus minus 5%. So you see increasing order. Decreasing order in this direction. So this is the, now I will tell you something about cost estimation information guide. Now what we people do, the first three one means pre-design estimate, we focus more on that. Okay, and once your plant is establishing, in the phase of establishment, certainly we refine our cost estimation due process of establishment of the plant. Now these three pre-design estimates we are doing. uh, once you do the pre-design cost estimate, this basically become the basis for requesting and obtaining a capital appropriation from the company management. आप कहोगे सर ये मेरा प्री डिजाइन कॉस्ट एस्टीमेट है, that will become the basis for requesting and obtaining a capital appropriation from company management. Okay, company management. अब latter estimates whatever you will make during the process of the design, that will that may indicate the project will cost more or less, than the amount appropriated. Okay. Management is then asked to approve a variance. जितना कम या ज़्यादा होगा तो हम उनसे कह सकते हैं कि सर इसको अप्रूव कीजिए, कॉस्ट जो हमने प्री डिज़ाइन एस्टिमेट किया था वो ये था, बट प्रोग्रेस ऑफ द डिज़ाइन हमारी कॉस्ट जो है वो ज़्यादा हो जा रही है, तो इसलिए आप ये जो एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट है ये भी अप्रूव कर दीजिए. सो जो वेरिएंस है दैट मे बी पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव. ओके, so that you need to understand. Now I am telling you that pre-design estimates. अब ये जितनी चीज़ें हमने बताई है इसको थोड़ा सा आपको डिटेल में मैं दिखा रहा हूँ, और ये चीज़ें आपको बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है और अंडरस्टैंड करना है. सो व्हाट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड राइट हियर दैट all five terminologies of estimation that I tell you in the decreasing order and increasing order from this to this direction means 5% detailed estimate, and then definitive estimate, then preliminary estimate, then study estimate, and then order of magnitude estimate. So I told you in this direction, and in this direction if you will read, this will be in the increasing direction means 5%, 10%, 20%, 30%, 30%. Okay, so in the detailed estimate, as the name implies, you will consider all the factors. All the factors means location. Okay, location. You will consider general description. You will consider soil bearing. All the things you will be considering in detailed estimate. Okay. Definitive estimate, see one less parameter, and in preliminary, okay, यहाँ पे 5 है, 5 considerations है, 3 to 5, यहाँ पे 4 है, और यहाँ पे study estimate में 1 है, and order of magnitude estimate में बहुत ही कम है. तो with respect to site, then process flow sheet. So these these you need to understand, and next you need to understand the cost indexes. So this is also very important because most cost data that are available for making a preliminary or pre-design estimate are only valid at the time they were developed. Okay? Because price may change considerably with respect to time. Price fluctuations, I told you that the cost is the function of also many parameters. One of those parameters are price fluctuations as well. I told you that very government policies, company policies, price fluctuations. So I need to take care of next the price fluctuations of the कास्ट. अब कास्ट तो बेटा होगी, बट आप देखोगे कि बहुत पहले की कास्ट दी हुई है, तो कैसे आप कास्ट इंडेक्सेस की हेल्प से करेंट टाइम में कास्ट एस्टिमेट करोगे, दैट इज ए बिग चैलेंज. नाउ what they suggest based on several research that the present cost you can calculate with the help of cost indexes. You will take original cost in the past and index value at the present and index value at the time original cost was obtained. So once you multiply that ratio, that is called the cost index, you will get the present cost. Okay, now cost indexes, different, there are different names for that as well, different indexes. So Marshall and Swift installed equipment index, one is this one, and second is engineering news record construction index, third is Nelson Farrar refinery construction index. This index will be used mainly for refinery construction. Remember, for refinery we will use Nelson Ferrari refinery construction index. And for chemical engineering plant, you mostly use chemical engineering plant cost index. Now there must be base year given for which the cost is given, and for the current year you will find out the cost with respect to the cost indexes. So those indexes will be mentioned here. For past 15 years you can see it is written here. Okay, so this is the important significance of cost indexes. You will look into these data, you need not to remember. You will be given, or you can search on the net, or you can find out once task will be given to you. You can search as per your requirement. Okay, in the cost estimation, and they will find the cost indexes and all, and you can calculate the present cost based on cost indexes. Now next thing that you need to understand, cost component in the capital investment. Now for cost component in the capital investment, you need to understand, uh, either you are going to establish completely new plant, that is called completely new plant means complete plant erected on a new site, that is called grassroot plant, that is called grassroot plant. Or battery limit is nothing but the geographical limit. So yeah, you can estimate the fixed capital investment. Different components will be the percentage of fixed capital investment. So whatever fixed capital investment you will find, fixed capital investment will involve direct cost and indirect cost. As I told you earlier, direct cost and indirect cost, and these direct cost and indirect cost will be some percentage of fixed capital investment. Now you may raise the question to me that, tell me why these are the percentage given right here, from where this come. So they have taken several industries plant data cost estimation, and based on that they have decided the range of percentage. Okay, so purchased equipment cost will be 15 to 40% of fixed capital investment. Okay, 15 to, suppose fixed capital investment is X, then it's purchased equipment cost will be 15%, 15% of X, right? 15% of X. सिमिलरली परचेज इक्विपमेंट इंस्टॉलेशन कास्ट, इंस्टॉल करने के लिए जो भी आप परचेज इक्विपमेंट करोगे, तो जितनी भी उस कास्ट की जितनी फिक्स्ड कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट होगा उसका 6 to 14% इंस्टॉलेशन कास्ट हो जाता है. इंस्ट्रूमेंटेशन एंड कंट्रोल्स इंस्टॉल टू, ये 2 to 12% होता है. पाइपिंग के लिए, मतलब पाइपिंग के लिए आपको 4 to 17% पाइपिंग, इलेक्ट्रिकल सिस्टम्स की जरूरत पड़ेगी तो 2 to 10%, बिल्डिंग्स इंक्लूडिंग सर्विसेज 2 to 18%, यार्ड इम्प्रूवमेंट्स 2 to 5%, सर्विस फैसिलिटीज इंस्टॉल्ड 8 to 30% उसकी कॉस्ट होगी. एंड लैंड की 1-2%, जो टोटल फिक्स्ड कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट है उसका 1-2% आपका क्या होगा, लैंड होगा. ओके, और लैंड विल the cost of land will depend on the geographical location. जियोग्राफिकल लोकेशन, कहाँ आप परचेज कर रहे हो. कहीं महंगी होती है जमीन, कहीं सस्ती होती है जमीन. तो ये बात बच्चों आपको समझ में आनी चाहिए. तो indirect cost, engineering and supervision will be 4 to 20% of X, means fixed capital investment. Construction expenses 4 to 17%, legal expenses 1 to 3%, contractor fees 2 to 6%, contingency 5 to 15%. So all the costs, now cost components involved here. So fixed capital investment, you can now calculate, estimate the cost. Okay, so based on these percentages. So these, now one problem is there, make a steady estimate. Problem is they make a steady estimate of the fixed capital investment for a process plant if purchased equipment cost is 100 $1,000. Use the ranges of process plant component cost outlined in table. ये टेबल आपको गिवन होगी, ये टेबल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बहुत रिसर्च के बाद निकाली गई है. दिस टेबल इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, एंड तो अब ये है परचेज इक्विपमेंट कास्ट. अच्छा, आप मुझे बताओ कि फिक्स्ड कैपिटल कितना होगा. परचेज इक्विपमेंट कास्ट, अब ये 25% होता है. ये मान लो परचेज इक्विपमेंट कास्ट 15 to 40% होता है. इसके बीच में कोई नंबर ले लेते हैं हम बहुत ही सिंप्लिसिटी के लिए. बट आप जो भी नंबर्स लोगे, 25 यहाँ पे लिया, 12 यहाँ पे लिए, ध्यान रखना है कि सबका सम 100% हो. 100 से ज़्यादा ना जाए. 100 से ज़्यादा जाता है तो आप स्केल कर लोगे उसको, स्केलिंग कर लोगे उसकी. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हम बताने, मान लो 25% मीन्स 1/4 क्या होता है परचेज इक्विपमेंट फिक्स्ड कैपिटल, 4 टाइम्स हो जाएगा. अब इसका मतलब है परचेज इक्विपमेंट ये है, तो अगर 25% ये होगा, if it is 25% of fixed capital investment, it means what is the fixed capital investment is 4 lakh. 4 lakh. Okay, so you need to understand this thing. Okay, so you need to understand this, right? So fixed capital investment 4 lakh, and based on, once you get the fixed capital investment almost, so purchase equipment, okay, you can calculate. Then purchase equipment installation based on percentage, instrumentation control, and all these estimates will give you the and you must remember here that it is written in the problem, don't include the cost of the land. So this way you will estimate the fixed capital investment. Okay, fixed capital investment, and get a feel